My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a Tardis. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. Hello, fellow Whovians. My name is Christian Basil, and welcome to another episode of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And this episode, we're going to be reviewing the Juggernauts. Now, I know you probably have never heard of the Juggernauts. It is one of the, I guess for a better term, what would you say, Joey? It's a classic episode. It's a little bit older out there. It stars Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor and Bonnie Langford as Melanie Bush. And it brings back one of the classic monsters, which we haven't seen in a while. Well, you know what? I'll talk about it a little bit more. But first, here we go. We're going to be introducing everybody who's going to be helping me review today The Juggernauts, starring Colin Baker and Bonnie Langford. Here's the team today. Folks, hi. Everybody's here to review this. First of all, we're going to say hello to Melanie Dean. How you doing, Melanie?
Doing quite well. Hope everybody else is having fun and just having a grand old time out there.
Me too. I was like, I wasn't going to be fun for me for a moment there because like 10 minutes prior to showtime, my computer just crashed. It just went. It's like, oh, you want to do a show today live, huh? So
here's some anxiety.
Exactly. So yeah, my computer is not allowed to have issues at this moment. It's not allowed. Well, even the camera's having issues. What's going on here? So what's going on here? Speaking of issues, how you doing there, Dr. Freedom?
Again, my issues have volumes. I have volumes of issues. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope everybody's having a safe time out there in podcast land.
You can check out Dr. Freedom, Brian Barres himself, on the YouTube channel. You can do a keyword search of Dr. Freedom and pull it up, subscribe. Anytime that Doctor Who news drops, that he's going to be dropping stuff. That didn't come out when he'll be dropping updates and reviews about the news of the day there. Speaking of the news, hey, Joey.
Hello, a panel of 6. I'm waiting for Gene Rayburn to come out and say,
there we go.
Like, Dumb Dora was so dumb. Every time
was she?
Every time she tried to think of something, she drew a blank.
And then we would have to answer that question there. No. Joey Reynolds of Geek Radio America. You can check him out on sci-fi.radio. When does the show premiere on sci-fi.radio?
Oh, my. Let's see. 6 a.m. on Fridays.
Uh-huh.
But then again, if you're in the UK, it's 11 a.m. So my American fans don't have to laugh that loudly because it's repeated at 7 p.m. on Fridays. And last week, we had Dr. Jack Bevan, who's a part of the meteorological team at the National Hurricane Center down in Miami. Oh. And a pre-recorded interview I had with him a couple weeks back before hurricane season began, before he went into the bunker. And part 2 of that interview is coming up this week. And a lot of sciencey flavored information, but always good to know because at the end of the day, when hurricane season ends, these guys don't go back home and sell insurance in the off season. They stay they stay pretty much at the task and trying to find ways to bring more information to keep the public safe, even though 9 times out of 10 the public is going to say, well, I survived through Hurricane Donna, so I can survive any hurricane coming up through here. There's a reason why it's called warnings, people. Warnings.
Yeah, that's when you're supposed to buy the keg of beer and lock yourself down in your house. It's made of straw and bricks. I mean, that's the case there. Speaking of the match game and Richard Dawson, how you doing there, Mackenzie Floor? You're just happen to be in this box down there.
Yay!
Mackenzie Floor, author
of air conditioner blower thing, and the window's going too, so it sounds really loud right now.
Okay, no worries. I don't hear anything, so we're doing great there. Mackenzie Floor of the Right of Ones. It hasn't been too long. You've been on quite a few shows there. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you excited about reviewing this episode? I was excited.
Absolutely, because this was my very first Mel's audio. So I'm very excited to talk about it.
There you go. And last but not least, over at the rathole.ca, meaning that he's in Canada. Dave Chapman.
I am indeed.
How you doing?
Yeah, I got
Dave?
like the only segue that made sense at all.
No
Yay for me!
Hooray!
Gotcha.
Hooray.
And as we listen today, we are going to be reviewing a title called The Juggernauts. The Juggernauts starred Colin Baker in his role as the Sixth Doctor, and we have a little special announcement for those of you who may not be knowing what today exactly is for Mr. Baker himself out there. And we also have a special announcement which will be taking place next week as well. What's that?
It's on the bottom. If people read the bottom, there's the surprise.
I put it
A little surprise for everyone.
I put it in there. Dang it. This is, today
Bad segue, by the way, because Juggernauts was Sylvester McCoy.
The Juggernauts are Sylvester. You know what? Happy birthday to Mr. Colin Baker himself. There he is with the Traveling TARDIS, his first appearance with the Traveling TARDIS. He is, my goodness, 78 years old.
Yes, 78.
Good God,
And
I'm old. And here's another picture of the Traveling TARDIS with Nicola Bryant in happier times.
60 and 60 and sexy. And,
60 and sexy.
Yes. And the one on the right may not be sexy, but he could be. But the one on the left is Nev Fountain's dream come true. So,
okay.
Yes. So Nev, you take care of our girl now. Okay.
Now, I took a picture of them right after this little, get together because they really wanted the Traveling TARDIS for themselves. So, a happy birthday to Colin Baker as we review his episode, The Juggernauts, today. And if you want, you can get to chat with us. If you are on the YouTube channel, if you're on the Facebook page or on our Twitch channel, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you go. YouTube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We are up at 1,200 subscribers, and we are closing into our goal of 4,000 watch hours. Really, we've got some wonderful episodes for you. Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, Annette Badland. You want to check him out there. YouTube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Let's go ahead and get rid of that picture, but happy birthday. Also, for folks who may not be familiar with another geekdom, today is also Ghostbuster Day. Ray, if you ask someone, if you watch Doctor Who, you say yes. And we have
my apologies. I got my stories crossed. I was thinking of Unregenerate with Sylvester McCoy with Mel Bush.
You're killing me, Freedom.
I know exactly what story we're on. It's just for some reason I was thinking of Unregenerate. I don't know why.
I couldn't confirm nor deny, so I just stayed quiet. He said.
What he said there.
My bad.
And you can check out the pictures here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Who are you going to call? Doctor, please get off the radio. And I have a lovely picture. This is the lovely Amelia Poole, but some of you better know her better as Harley Quinn Arts cosplay. And I think this may be one of the first pictures I've took of Amelia. She was dressed of, Dana Barrett. And and I said, pose. And she grabbed the TARDIS, jumped on a table, and that's what came out to be. So for our friends who are celebrating Happy Ghostbuster Day, today is the day. Happy birthday to Colin Baker. Today we're going to be reviewing The Juggernauts. As you folks who may not be familiar, if you're just joining us for the first time, 1 through 10 TARDISes, 1 being awfully bad, 10 being awfully good. We're going to be going around the panel. The lowest score will be going first as far as our discussion. Miss Melanie, what did you rate The Juggernauts?
You know what? I am not going to cut any TARDISes in half, even though I desperately want to. But I'm going to firmly give this one a 7. Okay. I was almost going to kind of give a 6.5, but I'm like, you know what? No more of that. If I'm at a half, I'm going to round up. So we're going to go with the 7.
God, that's 7, not the lowest score. It's up there. It's nice and modest there. Mr. Dave Chapman, what did you rate?
I am going to cut it in half. Mel and I obviously always on the same thing. I'm going for 6.5.
6.5, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're always kind of in that same wavelength.
Yeah.
So it drops a little bit.
I think we both have to be just so we can control Christian.
Well, this way, if I round up, that means I have to go after someone.
There you go, Joey. What would you rate 1 through 10? And
we're going to talk about this after the ratings, right?
Yes.
Good. I rate this about an 8. And I think I'm being a little bit generous, but I'll explain the reasons why after all the numerical ratings and such. Yeah.
No problem there. Okay, so Joey so far has the highest score. Mackenzie, what did you rate the Juggernauts?
This is quite interesting because I have noticed recently that my scores have mirrored Dave's and Melanie, so I gave it a 7.
Oh, okay. So, oh yeah, well, you at least mirrored Melanie on this one, so a 7 there. So there we go. And last but not least, Dr. Freedom himself. Come on, bring it home, Freedom. Higher or lower than 7 or 8 or
like I said, we're having a half Tardis day here because like I was thinking 7.5 right off the bat.
Thinking 7.5, and
Yeah,
I'm going to 7.5. Okay, and I'm actually not only keeping my number to myself until the end of the show. Melanie actually is the only one who knows this number, and I've sent her a PM to it. Let's see how it. Yeah, so now she's gonna check it out. Wait, what? This way, I can't go. See,
gotta keep them honest.
Yeah, exactly. This way, if when we start talking and stuff, I can't change the number.
Okay.
I'm fixed to this number to the very end. So,
yep, got it.
Melanie has seen it, and are you saying what because you're surprised of what I've hit it with?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Got it.
We'll find out at the end of the show.
We'll find out at the end of the show. But first, let's go ahead and begin. The lowest score belongs to Dave. Hi, Johnny Radar. Hey, you doing there? And sorry, no, that's fine. I was almost late to the party out there. Everything's going great, Johnny. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, if you want to join into the chat, if you want to talk about the Juggernauts, anything Doctor Who related, and we're going to be talking more about the convention that we'll be going to this weekend. This will be the first brick and mortar convention that we will be going to, and I am excited. 10th Doctor says, yes, 10th sent me. He wants me to check something. The others are in battle. That's why they send me. They want to check. What did they want to? Okay, all right.
They're looking over what's over Melanie's shoulder.
Oh, I got it. I got it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. There you go. So yes, 12. Oh, we also got we got 12. I didn't see 12 before. That's the first time. Oh, that's cool. Wait a minute. Let me give you the floor. Oh, that is gorgeous.
In the way. My hair.
That
is
there you go. Gorgeous.
The only one that isn't signed is where's my Jody? Jody is not signed, but Peter signed it and David signed theirs. So yep, I decided to put them out there.
I have to say, Capaldi's is probably my favorite. Where it is right there because it totally looks like he's just leaning around the corner.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
It's very 3D. Just the shades of coloring on your wall. You just pops.
Yep.
Great, the shades of Capaldi. There we go.
Shades of Capaldi.
There you go. Oh, but there. So, Dave, you got the first start before we go to a commercial break. You're going to start us off. You gave it a 6.5. Mark Woodard gave it an 8.5. And Mark, thank you for joining us. Sounds exciting, yes. And before we even begin, I have to put this warning in.
What? Spoilers.
Fantastic.
Yep, we're warning you right now. If you haven't heard the Juggernauts yet, we're going to be spoiling the heck out of this episode. Yep. So just be prepared. Dave, before we go to commercial break, you're going to start us off. Why did you rate it 6.5? Where did it miss the marker? Where did it hit?
I don't know that it necessarily actually missed. I might be a little bit harsh because I don't know Colin Baker very well.
Okay.
The Sixth Doctor, 5 and 6 are my big gap. In Doctor Who. Okay. I have seen a couple of episodes. Like I've seen his regeneration and that story arc. I have listened to some of the other big finishes, but usually in connection to like multi-Doctor stories. So I think it's less that it wasn't good because it was, and more that it's taking some time to get used to.
So it wasn't necessarily the story itself. It was the Doctor that threw you off as far as he gave you a negative feeling, or you
not
just
even just off. It just wasn't what I was. And oddly enough, I forget what his name is. Kendrick Carrick something. One of the characters sounded like Paul McGann. So thank you. I tune out for half a second, and my brain would switch back in, and I forget which Doctor I'm listening to.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, what? I'm used to Melanie because I listen to a lot of 7 and I listen to a lot of 8, and suddenly I'm thinking no, that's not who's talking. What's going on? especially near the end.
Do you know what's scary though? If you listen carefully, especially with all the big finishes, they keep using the same actors for different roles. Mm-hmm. So you might hear a tweak. So you wouldn't be surprised that you might listen to like a Paul McGann episode and it's actually Paul McGann in 5 different roles. Yeah. And if you listen very carefully, you can actually hear which roles he was in. But it was just a little bit off there. No big deal.
It's I enjoyed it. It was good. I love Melanie Bush in Big Finish. As a companion, she has grown so much compared to the television. You know, she has the same background in history, but she can actually use it. She'll actually use a computer. Did she use?
There you go. Yeah, and that's TV? And that's one of the biggest challenges with you know, I want to save my little discussion about that. When we return, please continue to log on. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with the Juggernauts. Just stand by, and we're going to get to everybody, and we're going to get to your chats too. So hang tight. Here we go.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
And if you're watching us on the Facebook page over at Wizard World, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, on our YouTube channel or on our Twitch, thank our friends over at geekinsider.com. Don't forget to subscribe with them. Geek Insider, tell them The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Now, we're letting you, if you're just joining us, to let you know we are doing a review of the Juggernauts. So if you need to, pause this, put it off to the side, watch it later. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you go to bigfinish.com, this episode, if you have the Big Finish app, it's only $3. That's it, $3 to hear a great 2-hour story. And I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil it there. But if you go to Big Finish right now, tell them The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. It's only $3. Just download, and the app is free to download. But $3, this is a great story. And I hope if you watch this and haven't heard the story yet, we encourage you to listen to this, depending upon our ratings. Speaking of ratings, who is next? Yeah, Dave, it was a tie between Mackenzie and Melanie. So, Mackenzie, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on there. You gave it a 7. Gave it a little half marker. Why a 7? Where did it hit? Where did it miss?
Well, for me, this is actually my first audio with Bonnie, so that was really awesome because I'll be honest, in the TV series, I couldn't stand Mel's, and I actually didn't like the Seventh Doctor for the longest time because I associated her with him. So it was that whole entire going into that, and I have that same type of relationship with Perry also because the Fifth Doctor is my doctor, so I always thought associated Perry as, you killed my doctor. How dare you? You know,
oh, we just bit her to the end out here.
Yeah, but in Big Finish, 6 is actually my doctor. So I liked the story a lot. It really, I felt for characterization, character development, it really brought Mel's up to a whole new level that I actually liked her this time versus being like, oh, I can't stand her. But there were certain things that for me, when the very first part of it, I actually had to start it over because I don't know if it was just I couldn't follow it. I got lost. So I had to restart the whole thing.
I actually, well, two things were. One, I actually listened to it again because I do have a big question. And I didn't get a chance to ask you guys because of the technical issue. I was going to ask you before because maybe you caught it and I didn't. And I had to listen to it twice to make sure that I wasn't the only one. But Mackenzie, there's a lot of people out there who say that Bonnie Langford, as far as Melanie's concerned, is redeemed in Big Finish in a lot of the stories. And I'm going to throw this out to everybody. What did you think of Melanie Bush in this story? Because, first of all, her computer skills are finally put up, not her exercise bike or carrot juice. That's gone. Not only that, but I think in this, there's a characterization of Melanie, whereas she's not the screaming girl anymore. She is actually going head to head with the Sixth Doctor. And I actually, like at the beginning, there was a little bit of an homage to Evelyn Smythe, one of the former companions. So that kind of got thrown in there because he was a little disoriented. Mark Wada, he is much better in the audio adventures than on TV. Yeah, I totally agree. I think he was, with the things that went on with the TV show, I mean, Big Finish is. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people, there was some kind of election, if I'm not mistaken, Joey, that they did where Colin Baker was considered the best of the Big Finish audio doctors.
At one point in time, I'd say about 14 years ago, when the audios had the audios have been around since '99 for Doctor Who, and of course at that time it was just Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. So this is a great opportunity to hear those stories fleshed out with three doctors instead of 20 in this case now. But where Colin's doctor was concerned, yes, he got I think the Doctor Who magazine poll for best doctor. I think for 2004 or 2004, it was Colin because of those audio adventures. And one has to realize that what we got 36 years ago when Colin became the Doctor. Granted, what we saw then, it didn't fly in 1985, but they're pretty much now commonplace today. In fact, I still think that Vengeance on Varos is the best story of his era because it was just so prophetic. But the ability for the audio stories, the audio dramas to delve more into his character and to give Colin's doctor a chance, not Colin a chance, because Colin was chomping at the bit. But back in the day, when you're doing TV and they give you these things and you're new, you don't question it in as much as, say, someone who had been around as long as Tom Baker had been.
Right. I just want to let people know, if you're familiar with the show and you've seen all the episodes of The Legend of the Traveling Tardis, you will see cats and cattails flopping around on each screen. In fact,
I've locked mine out except one.
I think one day I'm just going to have something where we're going to have our cats like run across the screen, but it looks like there's another cat running into the other box or something like that. Just some weird stuff out there. I saw the comment from Johnny Radar. He was like, he's actually I recorded him as a voice-over engineer. God, I want that job. I just sit in a room and listen to Tom Baker all day. Yes. But we're talking about the Juggernauts with Colin Baker, and we had Mackenzie. Melanie, you also rated it a 7. Where did it hit? Where did it miss?
Well, first I'm gonna kind of tie this into what Mark Woda says, and he says it brings Mel to the forefront and advances her character better than the show did, much like the Missing Adventures books do. And that's where I rated a little bit higher at a 7 because I never. Well, my knowledge of the Sixth Doctor in TV is very maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Even then, it's very forgettable. I don't remember it very well. My knowledge of, honestly, 5, 6, and 7 is like nil at best. So started listening to Big Finish, tried the Holy Terror. It took the second try to really kind of start getting an idea and getting a feel for the audio. This one, however, it's only 2 hours. So at first I'm thinking, okay, it's short and sweet. We'll see what's going to happen with it. From a sound engineering perspective, it's really well done. I was amazed at how much the Foley wasn't something where it felt like an old school kind of, okay, well, insert a door sound here, insert, keyboard tapping there. It was very organic. It felt like you're listening to like a film or something. It was very, very much clean. So to me, there's a part in Big Finish where it was kind of as you get like to the older stuff, it was a little bit more clunky. There was a lot of more growing pains of what they wanted to present in audio, and if it wanted to be more like just theater where it was just voices, or they wanted to add more of that Foley kind of feel. This one had that, and I felt more immersed in what world they were creating. What brought it down was there were certain parts where I didn't know exactly what was going on or where the scene had transitioned, or what my setting was. But once I kind of in my head, and this was all towards the beginning of the audiobook, or the audio, I'm sorry, the Big Finish production. As we kind of got along, I was able to follow it a lot better. I really did like the fact, but to kind of tie in what Mark had said, they made Mel somebody that I actually enjoyed.
Yes,
I loved the fact that she was a very much a realized, fleshed out, knew who she was character. In that, at the very beginning, throws her on an escape pod again. Remember, guys, spoilers. Remember the thing on the bottom here. Throw her on an escape pod, out she goes. And I'm sitting here going, oh God, what? And I thought that the little AI inside the escape pod to tell people, okay, please fasten your safety belts. We are about to go on to our journey. It felt very like Disney-ish, like if you went into like some other type of automated kind of capsule and like, okay, well, we're going to be crash landing now in 10, 9. And I was just like, oh, crash landing. And I liked how even at the very end she's yelling, Doctor! And it wasn't like a Doctor help me, but she's like cursing his name, Doctor. What the heck did you voiced me into?
Yeah.
But it was neat how then we kind of fast forward a little bit that she's been there for months and that we get to finally see that she's a freaking computer programmer. And she's knowledgeable in like, and they even bring up the fact that she knows, COBOL. She knows, which is hilarious because at one point here I think it was in 2020, actually, I think it was the last year, some computer programs, they needed to find people in different sectors that knew COBOL because they were, or COBOL, because they just didn't, it was, I can't remember the news story, but
a dead language in a sense. Yeah.
And that they had actually literally were looking for people who knew this dead language of programming. But it brings up the fact that she knows, BASIC. She knows, and that's all capital letters, by the way. She knows Fortran. She knows COBOL. So it's all this, now antiquated programming. But it showcased that she actually knew programming and that all that core stuff, especially with the Juggernauts as they're talking, if you're somebody that knows coding even from a very basic level, and you can go all the way back to 101 coding of line 1 is this, line 2 is this. The Juggernauts spoke like that. So if you know somebody where, even if you know coding as it is now, it does make sense, all that very basic line by line. And I thought that was a very nice touch to show that her knowledge was able to be, she was able to take her knowledge that she had, move it to transition it easily because she has a brain. And she's like, oh, okay. You could tell that she probably took her skill set and went, oh, it's like this, and this, no problem. And she, the professor / Davros, was impressed. And that was one thing I loved about this one is this was her episode, really, from the beginning into the very end of the climax of the end, which she's a big part of it. That's why it's like, as I'm talking, I almost want to give it an 8, but there was certain parts where it was like, it wasn't There was other parts where it would just I could keep going and going and going, but I'm happy at 7. It was a very good show. I would have wanted more. For 2 hours, you're getting a 7 from me.
Gotcha. There was no screaming in the key of G from her.
No, he wasn't flailing around and screaming. Yeah. But man, did this one have a body count though?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get to that, but yeah, well, that's typical. I wouldn't say typical Doctor Who, but sometimes you have those moments where there's going to be a huge body count, and the Doctor has to endure, people who have died because of his influence or his meddling in some point, not of his fault, because they're the big reveal about who our professor is. Andrew, and I apologize, Rossini, more like Dr. What, am I right? Okay.
Oh, more like Dr. What?
Yeah. Dr. What? Yeah, exactly. Wild Die Woodard. I believe this is Scott.
This is the
Is it Scott? Oh God!
This is, yeah. Hey Scott, your place sucked. That's what.
Don't shut it.
Oh my God!
This is actually the author and writer of the Juggernauts. Hey, all can't break away from work to listen in, but I'm sure to watch later. Don't worry. I'm totally okay with criticism. I wouldn't be much of a writer if I wasn't.
You wrote Mel's amazingly.
Yeah, I would say that. And let me add this because we're heading into a commercial break, but I just want to add this little tidbit in there. And Mark Widow says, thank you. She wasn't just a screamer. Yeah. Melanie's a screamer. I had the Asylum of the Daleks feel when the Daleks said they time scooped the 6th Doctor out, and they're hiring him to do something for them. And I was just waiting for the line to say, you know what, you're going to fire me at a planet anytime soon, because now he's hired by the Daleks to take out, eventually, would be Davros. And I have a question about this particular scene, but I'm going to take it over into commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our review of the Juggernauts. Thanks, Scott, for joining us today. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend.
Alien invaders enslave Earth,
unleashing hunters into the ruined wastes.
One young survivor struggles to elude their monsters, clinging to hope.
When he's stolen off the planet by a sarcastic starship AI, they pit their uneasy alliance against a treacherous galaxy.
Explore a whole new verse of barbarism and betrayal.
Wonder and adventure.
In the Scion series
by Michael J. Allen.
Beginning with Book 1, Scion Conquered Earth.
Available in print, ebook, and audio on Amazon.com. Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
It's almost time. Doctor Who-worldsapart.com. Doctor Who-worldsapart.com. Check it out there. Tell them the Legend of the Traveling Tardis sent you. They're having packs constantly on sale practically every week. We got some new stuff going on. And I've talked to Tony, Melanie. We're getting close to game time. That is going to be awesome. And I think he said he's going to be sending us a video to show how the gaming works as we get closer. So can't wait until then.
Army of Ood will win over all. Shut up.
With my organic stuff. Well, of course, Nisha's going to bring in her legendary cards, and we're all screwed out there. So, speaking of which, guys, check it out. DoctorWho-worldsapart.com. That's WORLDS apart.com, and you can get actually your cards for free. And the more you sign on a daily basis, the more chances you could earn some cards yourself there. So don't forget, Worlds Apart. Can't wait. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. We are reviewing The Juggernauts, Big Finish, starring Colin Baker and written by Scott A. Woodard, who just happened to drop in for just a few moments, and we're really excited. I hope he likes the show, because that's the announcement. He's going to be on next week. Scott himself will be on next week to talk Doctor Who and some other phenomenal things he's done in his life out there. Graham Krause, I just started. Oh, Carl Witzman. I even watched Velocity because it was one of your sponsors. Well, thank you, guys over at Doctor Who Velocity. Love it. Crystal Moore. They do have classic episodes you can check out. I think they have 4 episodes. I think this is the new one that's coming out. I think it's their 5th episode. So you can go on their Facebook page right now. Definitely want to subscribe on their YouTube channel so you'll know when that next episode drops. They're only like 10, 15-minute episodes, but they're really cool storylines out there. And speaking of cool storylines, we're back to the rating scale, and I believe... What do we have next? Oh, Brian. Dr. Freedom himself. You rated it a 7.5. You gave it half of a TARDIS. Against the girls. What gives? What's with the half?
Well, like I said, one of the reasons I really liked this story was, not only, did you have Bonnie Langford finally in there, with a more fully fleshed out Mel. You're not seeing her as the screamer. You're not seeing her as the brilliant, the one who just stands around, and acts like the Doctor's so brilliant, always has that shiny, happy face on her. You're seeing her also in a more dramatic sense. You're getting a better sense of, hey, this, Mel can take care of herself if she has to. It's a more serious aspect of Mel. And that's what I liked about the story also. Plus, of course, you got Terry Molloy once again reprising the role as Davros. And once again, they got Davros doing what Davros does best, which is manipulating everybody else into doing this stuff for him. And that's what I love about the character of Davros. Also, I guess I love it when Terry does his voice and all that, because he's just such a, it's like, who this guy is. He's up to something no good, but, clever,
you know what's so nice? It was to hear the different variations between Terry as himself and Davros. Yeah. And then when the Juggernauts start talking, I felt like I needed to continually clear my throat every time Davros and the Juggernauts start talking. I was like, because you get that gurgly sound out there. But you know what? I'm going to say it. Terry's one of those voices that you could listen to all day. He's almost like he could tuck you in with a bedtime story and read your story and you'd fall asleep.
He really had there was a sweetness, but there was a kindness in his voice as the professor, which at first you're just kind of like
manipulate you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knows how to push your buttons and make you think, because it's almost like back in the day. You had everybody convinced, I'm doing this for the survival of our race. No, you're not, you schmuck. You're doing it because you're crazy. But
it's kind of the same way that the Witch is familiar. Like, is he really? I mean, we know he's not going to change his ways, but is he really doing this? Is he really just trying to wipe out his old creation because he's like, well, we've gone too far, and I found this way to do it, and it's just like, oh, come on, it's Davros.
Yeah, that's why you gotta love him. It's like. Also, you have Colin Baker, and like I always say, and I can't stress it enough, Colin Baker on Big Finish is a god, literally. Yes. Compared to the scripts they were handing him back in the TV show, the stuff they've been giving him on Big Finish is always utterly brilliant, and he just has a lot more ground and a lot more say in how he portrays the Doctor on Big Finish than he did back on the TV program. And you always see, he just makes the Sixth Doctor so, ominous, yet sometimes he can be comedic. And that's what I love about it. He just brilliant as the Sixth Doctor on Big Finish. Incredible. So, the reason I got this one crossed with Unregenerate earlier, so they did basically the same thing in Unregenerate. It focused more on the individual companion. That's why I always get these two crossed. But like I said, I love Bonnie Langford in this one. Once again, as everyone said before, we actually get to see her use the skills that they said she had in the first place. Being a computer programmer. Nothing you never saw that on the TV show. No. It was either scream, run, or yeah.
Which is now a weird inconsistency that they give on the TV show, because if you listen to Melanie, I've also heard she also uses her computer skills. I don't remember. It was an episode that took place Big Finish in the 80s. She teams up with Sylvester McCoy, and again her computer skills are brought back into play. And the thing is, if you really see the continuity, she starts off as Melanie, the screamer, hitting the high notes, yelling at everything, and then you put in the Big Finish, which is supposed to close in that time frame where she's kind of wised up, mellowed out, has really good relations with Sylvester. When it comes to Bonnie, has really good relations with Sylvester and Colin's doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we go right back into when we go to Ice World and all that, she's back to screamer mode again when she has to leave. Yeah. So it's kind of like it dips out and then she goes right back into it.
Plus, the other reason I had to dip it up a little bit, even by a half, was just for the sheer nostalgia. This was I believe the first time that we've had the mechanoids reappear since like all the way back when they first appeared in The Chase.
Yep,
yeah, 65. And they came up with such an innovative way to have the mechanoids show back up. It just wasn't the mechanoids. They're being we're being told, well, these are my juggernauts. No, they're not. But oh well. That's what I love. Just the innovative way they brought them back in.
And it's a weird twist of fate. He's using the enemies of his own creation to destroy his creation. Has he gone too far? Has it gone messy? And yeah, we find out it's gone, might be going a little bit too far. Speaking of too far, Joey, you gave this thing an 8. You're the highest score so far on this. Tell us a little bit about it and where it didn't hit the marker for you.
Well, no, I say generous. I was generous on this. I think this is, I'm right in saying this is Scott Woodard's first time out as a writer for at least where the Doctor Who audio adventures are concerned. I think this was release number 95. Mm-hmm. So I may be frightfully wrong. Of course, he'll probably let me know that next week if I'm let here, depending on good behavior. But I kind of realized that where the Daleks were concerned. Now I know Nick Briggs did the voices extremely well, all the voices except Gary Russell, who did the voice on board the spacecraft that said we're going to crash. But I don't know if the Daleks were made to sound like they were very afraid of Davros. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. My perception was probably different. But I kind of I was kind of wondering in the respects that obviously this warring faction between the Imperial Daleks and the Davros created Daleks, and the fact that it just got to a point where maybe the Imperial Daleks were in great fear, almost sounding like Ogrons, as it were. Mm-hmm. But that's but the fact that Melanie Bush was normal, and when I say normal, because we those in this room grew up with the politics, reading about the politics way before the days of the interweb, the politics of Doctor Who and the casting of some of these folks, and how controversial it was 35 years ago that the Doctor was coming back, but it wasn't 13 45-minute episodes. It was 14 half-hour episodes, and under the umbrella title of The Trial of the Time Lord, and how, in a sense, John Nathan Turner had said that, in a way, yes, the Doctor is on trial for his lives, but at the same time, the show is on trial for its ratings life. It was up against the A-Team, which was on ITV. So the idea of John Nathan Turner stunt casting someone who, if you haven't read Bonnie Langford's biography or checked her out on imdb.com, you'll notice that she started off as a child actress, and she's pretty much Pollyanna, pretty much all sweetness and light. And if it were true, mind you, that Bonnie Langford was being cast to replace Nicola Bryant as a companion in the series, then the Doctor Who fans who had been there ever since hiding behind the sofa as children in the 60s and 70s. They were getting proprietary of the show. This would be totally, I don't know if the phrase is anathema to what the intent of the show was. Yes, JNT did stunt casting. Yes, he will do stunt casting during this season, the trial. Honor Blackman was featured in the first story where Mel's character is introduced, Terror of the Vervoids.
Right.
Yes, but in those respects, the way his direction was and the arguments that he had with script editor Eric Sayward, I sense that it kind of prompted that when Jason Haig-Ellery and Gary Russell, who were running the show at the time, Gary left on to bigger and better things and all that. But I think the decision was, if we're going to bring these adventures to fruition, yes, we need to give more depth to Colin's Doctor, because there wasn't enough time. But at the same time, we have to give respect to the character of Melanie, especially as, spoiler alert, in 3, 2, 1, she has a romantic interest.
With Jeff. And now I was going to allude to that because
that ending was sad.
That ending was sad.
It was.
With the music, with the music
box out there for him.
Yeah.
She goes, I just got one thing, and she has, and this is very important, even though there is a big, huge Dalek invasion coming in, she has to do this one thing in honor of Jeff. And it was kind of weird for me because when she left the Doctor on Dragonfire, there didn't seem to be any circumstances to pile on for her to leave. She just kind of felt like she walked out. There wasn't like something bad happened, Melanie. You know, there's something bad that happened, and this is the reason why I left. She just was sitting at the TARDIS, and she all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, is sitting next to the Seventh Doctor, and she's gone, I think it's time I left. This is something I would think that would have, kind of pushed that. Kind of pushed her to leave the TARDIS. This is why it kind of feels weird when you have to go back to the TV series, because I could easily see this story, and not only that, but her character development is something that would have happened after post Trial of the Time Lord. When you start moving things with the Sixth Doctor and Melanie, this is kind of where things, I think, would have eventually ended up at. Unfortunately, Colin Baker was robbed of the time he needed to transition his Doctor from, mean and irritable to something that we now see in Big Finish, where he has a zest for life, but he does not have any, what am I trying to say?
He's not a smart ass.
No nonsense. He doesn't. He's no nonsense. He one and done. I give you one chance, and you mess it up, I'm done here. So the Colin Baker that we should have seen in the TV series, though, eventually would have happened had he stayed on, I think. But and then to go back, and Melanie to go back to her old characterization. That was kind of weird there.
But kudos to Scott for fleshing this out and doing it in such a way where it stayed from the printed page to the word spoken, as it were, because I finally now consider Melanie as human in spite of the fact that Bonnie Langford was cast, I wouldn't say as a stunt. This is not taking anything away from what she did before.
Right.
I wouldn't expect, and just think of it that Billie Piper is the antithesis of Bonnie Langford, because when Billie was chosen in the role, people were saying, "What are you, nuts? This is the British version of Britney Spears." I mean, what is she known for? This teenage rebellion anthem, because we want to, and that's it. I mean, it's like. But of course, we realized it was RTD, Russell T Davies, who had this wealth of experience of creating, just seeing the potential with these actors and doing something with it. And Billie Piper is very, very well established in her career.
Right.
Doctor Who, the chance for that to happen with Bonnie, I'm sad that it didn't happen. Because I think she would have done a magnificent job playing a serious role, but in this case, it just wasn't in the cards where JNT was concerned. And regrettably, with respects to JNT, it's like this old sports axiom for those of us who might understand and watch and appreciate the sportsing. if the team is bad, if the football team is bad, American football team, you don't fire the quarterback, you fire the coach. In this case, the quarterback got sacked, pardon the pun, and the coach is still there. And even Jonathan Turner said he had been at the county fair too long, but yet nobody wanted the job because it was a double-edged sword. He was pretty much producer of the national joke. But it wasn't, but in order for him to leave, he couldn't, it'll be canceled. But if he stayed, it would still be the national joke. It was
right. Yeah. I remember a documentary with John Nathan Turner at the 25th anniversary, and they were talking about Silver Nemesis. And at the very end, he was asking, something to the fact, I don't know if you remember, but it was something like Sylvester McCoy will make me stay. And surely enough, he ended up staying for the 26 series of Doctor Who out there. So apparently Sylvester convinced him because, it was on its way out the door, unfortunately, the way they treated it. But Joey, you mentioned the word human. I would actually go as far as to say for Melanie, relatable. That we can actually get somebody we can relate to as opposed to
identify with. Yes.
Exactly.
Believable. Yes.
Believable. Yeah. Those are the kind of words.
I've been out in the sun all day, so it's been crazy.
Speaking of the sun, we got one last commercial break, and Melanie will actually reveal what I scored this episode. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
This is Cosplay Michael with the Hangin' With Web Show. I want to tell you about my friends at Embellis Effects in Orlando, Florida. They've got makeup, costumes, and props for all of your costume needs. And the team at Embellis Effects is helpful and friendly. Embellis Effects is one of my favorite places, and I know it will be yours too. I'll see you there. Or go to embelliseffects.com. And remember, cosplay is for everyone.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
The massive audio Doctor Who Bad Wolf Bluetooth Tardis speaker. That's all I gotta say, one word. Wow. It looks like it just jumped right off the screen. Here it is in all its Bad Wolf glory. Right here is the on-off switch and the up and down volume. Right here's the speaker. The TARDIS stands about 6 inches from the bottom of the TARDIS all the way up to the top where the light is. Look at the detail. Wow.
And you saw the speaker, and if you stay for the after party, we're going to be doing an unboxing to find out what's in this box over our friends at Amazon.com/Fametech, FAMETEK, for those of you listening to the radio show. Amazon.com, Fametech. Check it out and tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. A lot of people on our Facebook page, on the Traveling TARDIS Facebook page, when we were posting their advertisements, people were telling us they had bought the speaker already and they were enjoying it immensely. And I will be bringing the speaker over to the convention that we're going to be doing this weekend. Also, where was it? We want to thank our friends over at the Hanging With Web Show. If for those of you who want to listen to our show, Check it out on anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, iHeartRadio, sci-fi.radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CBSRadio.com, Spreaker. We're all over the place. You can download your favorite episodes on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and they are for free. So check it out wherever your podcast is. We want to give a special thanks to the Hanging with Web show folks for doing that to you. My name is Christian Basil, and we're wrapping up our discussion about the Juggernaut review. And Melanie, what did I give it? 8.5. The highest one. Yep. The highest one.
Highest one. So it worked out that you're the last one wrapping it up.
I'm the last one, and I am the highest. I have a question for everybody, and this was buzzing with me. Now, please tell me, maybe I completely missed something.
Okay.
The whole reason the Daleks could not get on the planet was there was a toxin there, correct?
Yes. And they lied about it.
They lied. Okay, so they lied about it. I could not find. I was trying to figure it out. Where was that? Where was
during when Six was just going off about everything when he realized he was being played and that they were going to double cross him on the. You said we could go blah blah blah, and then you realize how much of a double cross, triple cross, how much everybody was getting played by everyone. It was that.
I might have missed it out there. He was being. I knew he was being used, but I just couldn't. I was like, wait a minute. How did the Daleks end up on the planet with Davros? And they're still alive, and then the Evasion Force comes down, and they're still alive. So okay, that was
you.
Yeah, exactly. Fooled you, like Dark Helmet.
Exactly.
Exactly. Let me jump down to some of the things that were jumping out to me. I called it the Melanie goes Amy Pond moment. Catch 22. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, you agreed with me. It's a
no. Catch 22 was to Joey's.
J&T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, leaving the show.
This is because Mark also gave it an 8.5.
Oh, that's right. Mark and I gave it an 8.5. The moment that Melanie went Amy Pond, if you remember, what was it? The episode with the pyramid. Not a Good Man Goes to War, but she's there with Madame Kevorkian. What's that?
The Rings of Octian?
No. It's the pyramid. Time stops. The Wedding of River Song. The Wedding of River Song. Okay. And she is there with Madame Kevorkian, and she goes, "You know what, Doctor? You know what? He's not here." And she takes her eye patch and puts it on her head and fries her. So Melanie had that moment where she activates the mechanoid and basically tells her to destroy Davros. And at the very end, where Melanie is just breaking down because she's now realizing what she has done. And this is a testament to the writing, Scott. This is the character development we've been waiting for Melanie, that she loses it. And she says those immortal words, "I'm no better than Davros." And I felt the pain. So that was and one of the things I liked about in the writing was that Melanie would have had a back door, and she used her home address to get into the back door.
Yes,
so
that made me even show how much more even like the programming piece of her going. No, if I built a program, I have a back door.
Yeah,
I thought that was fantastic.
That's a Melanie thing. We can attribute this. This is characterization. And Scott, this is great because now we have a Melanie we can latch onto and appreciate there.
Jeff also had that at one point when he was trying to connect to the little visual terminals. Yes. There was a couple times which I thought was really grounded in realities. It was until he had the third try that he finally was able to put in something to get access, which I thought was just very clever writing to be like, okay, it's not like I'm in. For Melanie, yes, she programmed it. Makes more sense for her to have a back door. I'm in. And that it's only with her voice, because when the Doctor was trying to do it, didn't work. But then Jeff tries to do it 3 times. It's on the third try. He's like, oh, I got one more. And it worked. That, to me, I thought was more not one and done like with Mel's.
Right. At one point, I had to pause the episode. Not that there was anything bad or anything, but Davros made me think. And it was the line in the 4th part where Davros says that he had broken ties with the Daleks. So whatever happens with the Daleks is not his fault. And he mentioned to Melanie, it couldn't be as much a blame as if you did something wrong. Would your parents be at fault?
Yeah.
So I had to pause and think about that.
Yes.
I thought that was a cool
Often,
line.
yes.
Often, yes. Well, you brought them to the world, so I mean, you raised them. Now this is how they turned out. And we had that the touch these two strands together moment, but it was in a different way because Melanie brought it up when she goes, "Okay, why haven't you killed them off already?" And he had to reiterate that it wasn't that easy. This is not a straight answer, you know.
She's like, "Here, I'll show you how easy this is."
Exactly.
I'm like,
that's why I think that Melanie now, with the writing of Scott's, with the way that Bonnie had presented it, now I can relate to these two, and it works. And that's why I gave it an 8.5. I didn't really see anything negative, and Melanie knows I don't easily give out 10s that easily. You know, you really got to work at it. I think the only negative thing about it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody felt this way, it was kind of predictable. I could tell you 5 minutes ahead of the story what was going to happen in the story. It was kind of predictable what was going on. Not all the time, but I mean, and I think that may be alluding to what was going to happen because, you know, there are times when you want to put in some information, but I think there was a time, you know, I knew Jeff was going to die. I mean, that was, or at least he was going to, you know, do the ultimate sacrifice thing because of that music box.
Mel was the red herring.
What's that?
Mel was the red herring.
Mel was
the surprise.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, the best way I can put this is when I introduce people to Big Finish, my first introduction was The Holy Terror by Robert Sherman.
Yes,
and that's what got me in. If somebody were to say, okay, what would be, you know, what do you think Doctor Who is? If you could lay out, you know, 10 episodes and say, this is Doctor Who, the Juggernaut would have to sit in that arsenal to introduce people. Somebody say, give me the best of what Doctor Who is, or a good example of Doctor Who. The Juggernauts would fit into that lineup. So that is for me. So let's go ahead and wrap up the last chat. I just saw one. Everybody push the like button. Oh, yes. Yes, Graham. Thank you. Yes. Everybody, if you're there, go to our, you know what? Let me go ahead and bring it up. Go ahead to our YouTube channel. We do have, I had it all ready to go out there. You're watching the Big Finish review of the Juggernauts, but there's also exclusive content. We'll be adding more. We're going to try to see if we can do a Who Knew News tomorrow. That's going to be a convention special with, we're going to be going to Central Florida Comic-Con. We'll talk about that a little bit in the show, in the after party. Of course, Bits of the TARDIS presented by the rathole.ca. And we've actually separated right now if you in different playlists. So if you just want to watch interviews with Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, Dr. David Brin, all those folks, we got separate out for you. If you just want to see Big Finish reviews or Doctor Who reviews of the TV show. And then we have now the Game On series, which will be hopefully adding the Worlds of Parts very, very shortly. So we want to thank you all for joining us. We're going to go ahead and end the audio portion of the show, and we'll give the last word to Mark Woda. When people who care about the show write scripts, you can come up with a good audio like the Juggernauts. It is a home run. No bit of good story. It does get better on repeat listening. I actually had to listen to it 2 or 3 times. And it did get better each and every time we did that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and end the audio show, and we're going to continue with the video with our friends over at Wizard World. So let me go ahead and give the credits. Don't forget, if you are on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, facebook.com, our friend /Wizard World. Check out the merchandise at wizardworldvault.com. Thank you again, everybody.
Daily, so
and
keep an eye out there.
We are adding stuff daily, so we're going to go ahead and end the portion. Please stick around. We're going to continue on for another half hour and talk some more. So thank you for joining us, folks, on the audio version. Have a great day. Please stay safe and become part of the legend. My computer is just being borky today. I mean, it's seriously just... Like I will click on something like a banner or something, and it'll take like an additional 3 seconds before that banner comes up over there. So
as long as you click the right ending at the end of the show,
you got it. Yeah, exactly.
Good,
Scene cleaner.
So without further ado, here we are. Here is the box, because Jeremy said, "Are you going to finally open that damn thing?" I'm like, "I better."
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and expand the thingy.
All right, drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. So we got
my trap set's in the other room.
Damn. Everybody's doing the drum roll.
There's no point. I'm not on camera. I could just drum on my mic.
And I would just want to let you know we are interviewing Scott next week.
Yes,
he's going to be talking on the show.
Look to that.
And oh wow, this is very interesting. Sorry. Yes, there it is. The the Weeping Angel Charger.
Ooh!
Whoa! I'm going to be bringing this.
That's a wireless.
It is a wireless charger, and I will be bringing this with its buddy. Well, there we go. I'll be bringing this with its buddy, the speaker, the Bluetooth speaker, to Central Florida Comic-Con this weekend. This is so cool. A Doctor Who QI wireless charger, backup battery, and LED logo. We're going to, on the next episode, we're going to plug this in and charge it up so you can actually see for yourself. But this is, let me go ahead and put up our sponsors there. Amazon.com, fametech.com/fametech. That is gorgeous. That is
Take the wrapping off.
I will. I'm working on it. I'm
Unbox.
working on it. I'm blinding people with it today. There we go.
That's not better for the glare.
I know that glare got worse.
There we go.
The glare got worse. So.
In 3D, like Dr. Tongue on SCTV.
Exactly.
So I take it it's like one of the Qi power chargers. So it's Qi enabled. You plug it into with probably a USB cord. You put it on on a desktop surface and everything. It's round, it's flat. Take your phone, stick it on top,
and just let it charge. And the Weeping Angel lights up while it's charging. So I can't wait. I'll actually demonstrate this as I did with the speaker next time out there. Just to let folks know, we are going to be, what days are those? June 12th to the 13th. You know what? Let me go ahead and get rid of that.
Excuse me.
And let me go ahead and bring this in. Share the screen, and boom. This will be taking place at the... Tickets are on sale now. Still get it. It's join us at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. I don't have the schedule, and I do apologize. We will be
There's a lot of panels. There's a lot of panels. I think we are having 2 panels each day on Saturday and 2 on Sunday as well. I want to say we're more on the morning side, so one like at 11 and one at 1. I say morning. That's welcome to con life. Early afternoon and later. Late morning, early afternoon. One of our panelists that you see a lot of, Nisha T. Mulchin, she will also be having a panel from Diversely Geek. I cannot remember what time, but I believe she will be on with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS panels, but she will also be on a panel with Diversely Geek. There's a lot of panels going on.
There's going to be a lot of panels handling. And just to let you know, I finally got the floor plan. We're going to be up against, we're not going to be up against, we're going to be next to the guests. So we'll be up the wall where the guests are at. We're going to be right next to them.
You're going to be next to George Lowe? Ooh.
Yes.
Heck yeah. I'm going to get
and all the Power Rangers that are going to be out there. Let me see if I can pull up more information about who's out there.
Yeah, we've got Power Rangers. There's a lot of comic artists.
Where are the guests? Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Had to find it. So Kyle Phillips from My Hero
Academia and One Piece.
One Piece. Kara Burl. I'm not familiar with a lot of these, so I apologize there. Karan Ashley from the Power Rangers. It looks like the Yellow Ranger.
Yes.
Also Power Rangers. And Ming Chen. Paul Schrader. I apologize. I'm trying not to butcher the names. I'm not familiar with any of these
Paul
guys.
Schrader from Power Rangers.
Paul Schrader from Power Rangers.
Yep, but Ming Chen, you see him from AMC's Comic Book Men.
And of course, Space Ghost, George Lowe. He will be there. We will be here all weekend, help geek out with us. And I can tell you this right now, there may be some giveaways. Some Doctor Who Moich giveaways out that place. Yeah.
So come by, visit us, say hello.
So.
Well, I will try to be there as much as often as possible. It'll probably be more that morning, afternoon. I'm probably going to be cutting out around 3 only because I have stuff both nights that I have to be home by. But Christian will be there. The Hanging with Web show team will be there. Nisha will be there. I believe Jessica, she's going to be there. The rest of these people don't live in the state, so that's not going to happen. That's a little bit of a drive for them.
Oh, see what happens if they show up. This is the first. I'm excited about this. First convention, actual physical convention that we are going to. That's not virtual.
He wants to drive down for MegaCon or when Wizard World starts doing their shows, which I'm looking forward to. Like, let's do this. We're getting back to cons, y'all.
So there
it is. Close to being at MegaCon.
This close? This close?
Why?
It was scheduled for the original weekend, the weekend after the original weekend for Gen Con. Gen Con moved. Yeah. So I was going to drive from Alberta to Indianapolis, down to Florida, and then back home.
That is a
bit of a drive.
I get it. I get where driving is better because of the rathole.ca. You're dealing with tabletop games. You're dealing with stuff that you cannot just stick. Oh yeah, I'll fill 2 suitcases with. That is a lot more than a $75 charge, my friend, for luggage.
Oh yes.
They're like, sir, this is over 200 pounds. Are you trying to transport bodies into another state? No,
yes.
I promise.
Yes.
Maybe.
I flew once to Gen Con, and just my travel carry-on barely underweight.
Oh no! There's no way.
And I understand. I wasn't working. That was before I opened my own site. I was working for another site, and my editor for that site left with way more. I'm like, nope, not doing this again.
Yeah, no. I've been in San Diego. I've been in the John Wayne Airport opening up my luggage for leaving San Diego Comic-Con, taking stuff out because I've gone drastically overweight. And they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to ship this." I'm like, "Hold on, I will go to the trash can with all the other nerds that are next to each other, going, do we really need this? No, I don't need this." It's like a swap meet. People get here. Take this. I can't take it home.
Now, here's something interesting. I didn't realize I wrote this on this page, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, that's fine, but I wrote this just separately by itself. And it was the concept that
Did anybody read that? I couldn't.
No. I'm reading it. The Sixth Doctor says, never once exhibited the concept of mercy. And I'm just like...
He's saying that about himself, or did he say that about Davros?
Davros. And I thought that was kind of a contradiction. Now, Scott wrote this way back, I think like 2005.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, when was The Witches Familiar? Like 2017, 2016, something like that. So I just thought it was just a very weird contradiction that, Davros, or maybe not, because he doesn't really understand the concept of mercy until the 12th Doctor finally meets Davros's younger self. And then he understands that he has mercy, and at least that influence has been down there. But I just thought it was interesting that the Sixth Doctor comes in and said, never once exhibited concept of mercy, referring to Davros.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting to note. Scott also wrote a couple of the Davros Big Finish shows.
He wrote...
that was a good one.
He wrote Guilt.
Yeah,
he wrote the 4th one. I don't know if he wrote the first 3. He was involved with the last.
Just the 4th one. I thought he had done 2 different ones, but yeah, no, but I know Guilt was one of them. Yeah,
Guilt was one of them. I have a surprise for Scott when he gets on next week.
Oh boy!
Oh boy!
No, it's not a bad surprise. All surprises are bad there.
Yes,
for those of you going to the convention this weekend, the Traveling TARDIS is going to be first of all, Central Florida Comic-Con. I've already got the announcement or mention on their Facebook page. Ben Penrod, who runs it, said that we're masking up no matter what. And he even said he apologizes if you already got tickets and you want to skip this one. He's fine with that. but for this convention, and I understand, I totally agree. You know, we want to play it safe. It's the first brick and mortar conventions. You know, we're masking up, and our table will be providing masks. Hopefully nobody's in the convention walking around that doesn't need to be, but if your mask breaks or something, we'll have a couple behind. Yeah, exactly. Angry eyes. Angry eyes. You know what? I found, speaking of which, I thought it was funny. I don't know if anybody's seen this. If you look on YouTube, Peter Capaldi did a Michelob commercial.
I never knew that. Okay.
He did yeah, and
what?
Should I play it? Should I find this and play it?
I'm looking.
No. I mean, I can find it. It's
no.
Funny,
No.
Then you're running in the whole ad.
No alcohol commercials. No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally
it is.
Go look at this. Oh my goodness. Go look at this. I'm just.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, he did a Michelob commercial.
Oh yeah.
And at the end,
if you do a screenshot of it, do not play it.
Okay. I'll do that. Wait a minute. I'll do this. Let me see if I can find it. But there's a particular thing
on our Wizard World partners. I got you guys.
Totally reasonable.
So we can't.
All you got to do is go to YouTube, type Peter Capaldi Michelob, and it comes right up.
Yeah.
Let me.
So for you folks who want to watch it for yourself, that's how you find it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can see where there'd be a complication with this, advertising alcohol. Yeah.
I'm just gonna post this up here because I think it's the funniest thing because it actually predict the future just a little bit too well. Hang on one second. There's a scene in this commercial that here we go. I'll put it up there. This is just the commercial. His angry eyes.
That's perfect.
Actually focus on his angry eyes.
Pop back to a shot of full face of him, full head.
Sure. Yeah. I will do that. Let me.
Because this is
where he looks completely
young.
There.
This is why
hair.
Look at that hair.
Doctor. This is the hair. This is what they were looking for in the Eighth Doctor when they were looking at him.
Yeah.
Because they looked at him for 8.
They were looking at that hair.
And that's the same hair that Paul McGann had at the time.
Yeah. And poor
Till
Paul
he shaved his head right before.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, here, put a wig on. They're like, no, they didn't have to do that thing. No, Christian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, off.
That's not an area.
Nope.
I'm trying to jump to where.
That's not advertising.
Wait, first off, can I safely say that in spite of your concerns, Michelob is not alcohol. it's far from that
photo.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't do the canoe joke because this is a family thing, but I'll if you've seen Monty Python, you know what I'm talking about.
I need to. I live in Canada.
Yay!
Well, there you go.
What else was very, very predicting was he did an appearance on Craig Ferguson. This was several years where he became the Doctor. He walks out, he's wearing a black suit, white shirt, and then he opens it up, and there's the lining in the jacket and everything. And then even during that, Peter refers to him as being a magician.
Yep.
I'm like,
that was just his deal.
Peter as being a magician. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's like they're kind of seeing into the future there a little bit.
Somewhere Peter Capaldi, I'd say about 1985, he did a film that was aired here in the States on NBC, and it was about the Beatles before they became the Beatles, and he played George Harrison, and he's got George's voice on point. Yeah.
We're also just shortly before he was named as the Doctor, he appeared in World War Z. And he was one of the doctors for the World Health Organization. Yep. Sure enough, if you watch the credits, he's listed as the WHO, the WHO doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. Frightening. It was destined.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I'm so disappointed because when I watched World War Z, I actually watched it to see Peter Capaldi in the scene, and he was only in there for 5 minutes. I'm hoping. Really? Well, I mean, he was in there a little.
Yeah, he was only in there.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, Peter. I wanted more Peter in there. He doesn't show up until the end, right?
It's towards the very end. Yeah,
towards the very end, he's not enough in there. So I'm hoping when they do the the Suicide Squad. I hope he's in there for more than 5 minutes, for crying out loud.
I hope so too.
I will be pissed.
Yeah, he is playing the Thinker, so I hope he's got a bigger role in this.
Well, let's go see him as Malcolm Tucker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the thick of it. Yeah. Go watch that. That'll.
Yeah.
Ages.
Think of it. Also watch the movie In the Loop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So to discuss even more about the traveling TARDIS, yes, it's going to be treated like a. It's going to be very, very sanitized by the end of the whole convention. Chrissy has actually made. We used to have the traveling TARDIS where people could pick it up and play with it and toy with it and take pictures with it. It's going to be. Yes. He's the TARDIS. Chrissy has made a nice little container that will be sitting in the front where the traveling TARDIS will be inside. So people can't just willy-nilly grab it. It'll be in a nice container that will be lit up for the traveling TARDIS. I thought that, and it'll be a surprise this weekend. But we will have sanitizer. We will be cleaning the whole thing. We will have gloves. We will have everything. We're going to be treating that like, what is it? Like
anyone that comes within 2 feet of me will be sprayed with Lysol.
Exactly. We actually have spray. Just so that we can.
Does the container have like a supermarket style spray of sanitizer? Well, just every now and then, periodically.
Probably. It sounds like all of a sudden you hear rain.
It'll be great. Or that scene from New Earth, where they're in that shower scene.
Yes.
Or that little thing where.
Yes, where Ten's just having a great time and poor Rose is like freaking the hell out.
As long as you don't resort to going to. This is Terminus. Stage 1 sterilization is about to begin. Okay. Little flashback to Davis in there. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So next week, Scott Woodard is going to be on the show. We're going to be interviewing him and talking about his career. And apparently he's probably listening to us right now, hopefully. And we hope that he's happy with the review that we got him. And we're going to be doing a lot more Big Finish. And let me go back to promoting our YouTube. Oh, where is it? Oh, I lost it. Sorry, I was on Capaldi's eyes for a second.
Mackenzie hasn't said anything in the better part of 30 minutes because she's
just our mics off.
Exactly. I'm just like, whatever.
I'm here. I'm contributing. I'm a part of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go buy Rite of Wands on Amazon.
Go get the Rite of Wands and the Binge Watcher's Guide.
Go get
that. Go get them.
Any news on part 2 on the Binge Watcher's Guide or in the next edition?
I am going to be working on it soon. I'm getting into what I'm doing right now is doing the rewrite of the script for Rite of Wands. So that's what I'm finishing up. And then it's going to a producer. And then I will be able to work on the Binge Watcher Guide. I wanted to work on it a lot earlier than this, but it turned out when this whole vaccine with COVID came out, for those who are listening and didn't know, I actually became quite ill. And so my life has kind of gone into a new direction right now. So I'm really just going one day at a time.
Blessings in disguise.
Yeah.
Although they're a hard road fought.
Yes. Make sure that everything goes as planned.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to say this as far as the YouTube channel. We're working with Simon right now because unfortunately he's not able to do the scheduling. He picked up work and we're grateful that he is working. But it actually impedes him to being here live on the show. So Simon is either we're going to be adding bits of Simon, bits of the TARDIS, bits of Simon. And
Simon Says with Simon Fisher Becker, Dorian Moldovar himself.
Exactly. We might actually have a playlist for him, depending on how he wants to work out with stuff. We're still working on it, but we're going to be adding one of the. He sent us his review, or he sent us his bit on the Cushing conundrum and who he thought, because we had the pictures of who he submitted, but we didn't hear from Simon. So Simon will actually be adding his own take, and hopefully he will continue to make videos bring his own take to. He might even do like Big Finish reviews. He might add on. He might have just little do sayings. If you want, go right now when you get a chance to Simon Fisher Becker, because he's on YouTube and he does monthly vlogs on his YouTube channel, and he will be hopefully adding and contributing as best he can while he's doing work. And I think, I'm going to get more information about what he's doing, because I really want to make sure that he brings it up on that. He's also, I saw him advertising my Dalek has another puncture or something like that. I think that was a book.
Yeah.
Yes.
My Dalek has a puncture. My other Dalek has a puncture.
Toby Haydock?
What's that?
Toby Haydock, right?
No. This is Simon Fisher Becker.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Okay.
No, you're fine. He was doing audiobooks, and I think he's got a third book out, and he just told me he's got a surprise for all of us on the third book.
Yay!
It has something to do possibly with the show. I don't know, but that's what the surprise is.
I actually have an interview too that I recorded with him. Actually, I think it was last year in regards to his books, and I never put it out anywhere. So I think I would like to put it exclusively with the Traveling Tardis.
Okay. Ooh. But yeah, please subscribe over here, and we've got tons of content. We're going to be adding a lot more. As soon as I get more word information, we should be interviewing Ben Penrod for the Who Knew News tomorrow. We're just waiting for final confirmation and scheduling. If not, we will probably do a special and just basically go over the news. Yeah, we're just going to have a lot more stuff going on over here. And we just want to thank all of you for supporting us, for helping us. Melanie, what's the matter?
Trying to get an edgewise word in here because you're just in like this weird kinetic ramble. I'm like
listening.
I'm sorry, I got like 10 things going on in my brain. But
no, but anybody who's listening now, if you're listening live, if you are listening at a different time, please, whether you're on Facebook, if you're on the Wizard World feed, if you are on YouTube, please drop us a comment below to let us know what else content you want us to see, or what you want to see, what you want us to do. So if there's a Big Finish audio that you really are kind of on the fence on, you're like, oh, well, I've heard about Out of Time with David Tennant and Tom Baker. Maybe you guys should do a review of that one next. Or, there's other, just other things, or other people that you would like us to have interview. Please drop us a comment and let us know, and we will do our very best to endeavor to get that to you.
Yeah.
And on that, if you want
Out of Time, it actually is nominated for I believe it's a Scribe Award. So there's right there why we should add that to our list of stuff to review.
If that's something that you guys want to see sooner than later, let us know.
And if it's any Big Finish, it could be something current, it could be something classic. We'll be going over a lot of the Big Finish stuff because it is part of the Whoniverse. Yeah. And we want everybody to give it a chance out there. And like I said, for $3, you can get Doctor Who and the Juggernauts. And it's only 2 hours long, but from what we reviewed about it, I think it's a really great story that everybody could appreciate. It's a really good Doctor Who episode. So for 2 hours, a nice little, little sizable chunk change to just put it in your app, and it is going to be, I think you're going to really enjoy it. And a lot of Big Finish audios are coming out like crazy. I mean, they're just like hotcakes. We can't even keep up with it.
I think they should dump the We Love Stories thing and go, we've got Eccleston.
I swear. You guys did not see our review of the Ravagers. Please go listen. Ravagers, I thought was amazing.
Oh, yes. I listened to that again today at work. It's wonderful.
Did they release a new box set or something? Is there something new?
There is another one, yes. At that time, they actually recorded 4 box sets all at the same time. The second one is coming out, I want to say it's like July or August. It's really
okay. You know what to give me for my birthday then. Coming out there. More Eccleston. I love the bit at the very end of Ravagers, spoiler alert, where he's sitting with Nova and he's drinking whatever that beverage is, and the noises that Christopher Eccleston is making just to piss off Nova was classic. It was just like, Chris had a great time putting that together, as well as that episode too. And it's a fun episode. It really is a fun episode. It's a nice way of bringing him back into the fray. Well, we want to thank everybody over at our friends of Wizard World. Don't forget to check them out on their Facebook page, wizardworld.com, and the wizardworldvault.com. And we want to thank you for joining us. We'll be back here next week. Don't forget, we are going to be at Central Florida Comic-Con. You can check out there, buy tickets at centralfloridacomiccon.com. I think you can get the tickets, well, just in case, I think some places they only get them online.
Yep.
But check it out there, and we'll see you out there. And we can't wait to see you guys. Please stay safe, and want to thank you all for joining us. And from all of us, thank you for joining us. Please stay safe and always become part of the legend.
Click the right